I've seen a lot of knife injuries over the years, and most of them could have been prevented. Hey, so welcome back to the channel. We're doing a quick thing today on knife safety, how to safely use a fixed blade knife to carve a stick. For today's video, we're just using a Mora knife. This is a fixed blade knife. It's excellent for bushcrafting. It has a Scandinavian grind on it, which basically means the blade bevel is quite wide. I have a fairly green piece of wood here that we're going to use as our demonstration. The first thing you really want to pay attention to is what they call the triangle of death. Basically, you never want to do any sort of carving or whittling or anything like that into your legs. If you were to lacerate one of your femoral arteries, you would most likely bleed to death very, very quickly. It's extremely serious. Don't do it. What I like to do is have a seat on a log, something firm, and be carving away from yourself. So hold the knife with a very firm fist-like grip, not having any of your fingers extended over the blade in any way. Some people use a thumb to hold the backside of the blade at the spine, but I like to just hold it like this, nice and firm, and you're going to be carving away from you. I always tell people to use the belly of the knife, which is this portion here right by the handle. This is going to give you the most leverage, and you just want to just start by stripping the bark off, just calm, deliberate, and you're not forcing the knife to do anything. When you notice it's resisting, you just gently push through. If your knife digs too much into the wood, then you can rotate your wrist to just bring it back up and slice a thinner section of wood off. When you're doing like rough shaping of wood like this, you don't want to use the very tip of your blade because you don't have very much leverage. It has more leverage over your hand at that point. What's really important also when using a knife is to be aware of anyone around you within 180 degrees. You don't want anyone within slashing distance of you, so that's what they call the blood circle, right? So make sure that the whole area around you is clear before you begin. One thing you can practice is actually just making curls. It's where you carve into the wood, but you leave a little bit on. This is called feathers. And you can just practice really slow, methodical curls. This could be used as a fire starter, but it's also just a really great way to get to know the type of knife that you're using and what kind of forces it takes, what kind of handling it takes to create something like this consistently. This is a really great first thing to learn when you're learning about knives, is just that control it takes to make a feather without breaking it off. Once you've created a bundle of feathers you could use as a fire starter, flip the stick over and separate it from the main piece of wood like that. Now you've got some nice dry wood that you can use as part of your nest to build a fire. Okay, so let's talk about notches and why you might need a notch. Maybe you will want to create a notch in a piece of wood to use as a pot hanger over a fire, or if you're in a survival situation, you could use it to create toggles for snares and traps and deadfalls. So we can create a notch using a knife and a baton, or a piece of wood that's like a hammer basically. I hold my knife with my non-dominant hand, which is my left hand, and I hold it where I want to place the notch, and I use my baton to make a cut through the wood at about a third of the depth. And so now I'll actually carve up to that notch and the pieces will fall away. Notice I'm using the thumb of my non-dominant hand to push on the knife or on my hand just to give it leverage. I'm creating a pivot. So I'm not using the full strength of my arm, I'm just using small motions that I can control. Most of the force is coming from my thumb. And I'm just guiding the knife with this hand. There's just a couple things you can try if you're new to using a knife. As always, be super safe. Make sure there's nobody around you. Make sure you're not carving into your legs or your forearms. Always away from your body. And be safe. Have fun. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Hit the notification bell as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.